How to invest for beginners. Dave Ramsey is known for two things: getting people out of debt and making millionaires. Becoming debt-free changes your life. It changes your family tree. It changes your retirement. You retire with dignity. And your most powerful wealth-building tool is your income. The shortest way out is to invest rather than to borrow and become a slave to a lender. This is because if you haven't pledged your capital to anybody else, you can invest it and become wealthy. Think about it this way. The average car payment in America today is around $500. So you're basically giving away $500 every time you make a payment, and in return you eventually get a car. If instead you took that $500 and invested it in a decent growth stock mutual fund from the age of 30 to 70, you would amass over $5 million. Isn't that incredible? So, how do you know how to invest? Well, if you really want to know, ask most millionaires, and you'll be surprised to know you get the same answer. So how did they invest? And what are they doing? Today, we uncover the 4 simple places to put your investments and the basic ways to manage them to turn your investments into millions. But before we dive more into that, here at Trustee Tutor, you will get to know about the trends, principles of money making, history, recent news, and tips in navigating the world of finance. If you're into that, kindly give this video a huge thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Also, hit the notification bell so that whenever we upload a new video online, you will be the first to know about it. So, let's get to the video. The main thing Ramsey suggests and personally invests in is good growth stock mutual funds. In general, you should buy mutual funds that have at least a 10-year track record and spread it across 4 types: growth and income, growth, aggressive growth, and international. Now, why shouldn't you just buy index funds, you might be thinking? Well, you can if you want, but index funds are basically an S&P 500 fund, which mirrors the market. So, an index fund basically is the stock market, and so it's going to behave exactly as the stock market does, good or bad. The mutual funds that Ramsey recommends outperform the S&P 500, and the good news is, they're really not that hard to find. Simply open up the prospectus and compare the 2 lines on the graph. One tracks the S&P 500 and the other is the mutual fund. If the mutual fund's line is below the S&P line, don't buy that. Simple. Of course, there is a commission to pay, but Ramsey says that's actually a benefit, as it means you have somebody to help you make decisions. And it's important to have somebody in your corner who can help you with investing, who can analyze all the data. Because if you're out there by yourself with all your theories and some idiot newscaster comes on the evening news predicting the end of the world, what do? You cash out all your mutual funds at exactly the wrong time because you don't have anybody in your corner saying, don't jump, don't jump. All the data says a decent portfolio of good performing mutual funds wins. And the big thing is actually putting money into the mutual funds, actually investing. Research indicates that 74% of the importance in achieving retirement success is the savings rate. So the main difference here is actually doing it. It's astonishing the number of people that actually put money in instead of just talking about it. And they continually put money in, week after week, month after month, year after year. Just take some of your money out of your check into your retirement, into your 401k repeatedly, over and over again. This is how you get wealthy. So, how do you pick mutual funds? For Ramsey, about 80 to 85% of his choice is based on the rate of return, a fund's track record. He says, I'm trying to look for the longest track record, something stable. I don't like risk, I like to make money. Risk equals not making money for me, big risk anyway. So let's talk about those 4 types of funds that you should spread your savings across: growth, income and growth, aggressive growth, and international. There's many different names for mutual funds, and the name tells you what's in the fund. A growth and income fund contains large companies. These are also called large cap funds, or sometimes a blue chip fund. Why? The blue chip is the most expensive chip on the poker table, so that means the companies in this fund are the biggest. Large cap is short for large capitalization, which means these are the large companies. Of the 4 types of mutual funds recommended, this is the most tranquil. Charting the unpredictability of this fund versus the stock market shows you that it's a lot calmer than the market. This means it's your friend when things are going down, because it's stable. But when things are going up, it's not exciting. You might think, why is it not doing well when the rest of the market's going up? But this is its advantage. It goes slower than the market up and slower than the market down. A growth fund is right in the middle. It's medium-sized companies that are growing, so you might hear it called a mid-cap fund. These are standard growth stock mutual funds, and there are a ton of funds that fall in this area. The basic idea is that the fund will do roughly what the market does in terms of volatility, although you can get mutual funds that are growth stock mutual funds that outperform the S&P 500. Then there's aggressive growth funds, also called emerging market or small cap funds, as these are composed of small companies. So, a lot of tech companies and the startups would fall into these categories. These are what Ramsey calls the wild brother, the crazy one. As he says, all the fun, weird stuff is in there. Of course, this means the risk is higher, as some of these companies fail and go to zero, but also it's going to go up faster than the market goes up. But it's going to go down faster than the market goes down. It's going to be much more volatile than the stock market. So there is higher risk, but also higher reward. International funds include stocks from overseas companies and are closely related to global funds. Over the last several decades, American companies have generally outperformed other international companies as a group. So your international fund can be your worst performing of the 4. But at least you've got some investments overseas, and therefore you're not 100% betting on the American economy. Now, this isn't about patriotism. It's a fact of diversification. So, for example, BMW or Mercedes might be a solid bet, or LG, etc. Even though some of these companies do make products in the States, they are based overseas. And so those are the 4 types. But Ramsey's message underneath everything focuses on one main thing. As he says, the thing is, do it. That's the thing. Everybody talks and talks and talks and talks and talks about investing. The problem is, nobody does it. And it's not about getting lucky, getting an insider tip, hitting the home run. You just need to stop, go slow and steady, and actually invest. It's the way. It's the only way to go. So, to reiterate, the basics. Invest in the 4 types, which are growth and income, growth, aggressive growth, and international. Don't chase the returns. Don't invest in things you don't understand, because that's how people get ripped off. Ramsey asks us why all these athletes you read about, the NFL stars, and they lost $10 million or they made $100 million and it's all gone. You know how they lose their money? Because they gave it to someone else to handle. They didn't even look at it, and then they're shocked to find out that person was a crook. That's how you lose your money. You don't need a master's degree in finance, and don't worry, it's not rocket science. Just invest wisely and spread it across those 4 types and understand what the money is going into. And find somebody to help you, but someone you can trust. Think of when you're doing anything complicated with money, getting a mortgage, sorting your estate plan, doing your taxes, stuff like that. You need to have somebody sat opposite you with, as Ramsey puts it, the heart of a teacher. And not a salesperson. And that's it. If you have any questions, personal experiences or suggestions regarding this video, let us know in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so that whenever we upload a new video online, you will be the first to know about it. Keep updated and work smart. See you soon.